Welcome to the second half of this very informative creative show that I'm trying to run for you, a series of shows, and with Manjeet Kaur, myself, hosting the shows every Monday 9:40 p.m., bringing you a whole host of community-ridden diseases where I try to bring in light to the symptoms, the causes, but also the treatments that I do in my clinic. Take note that I'm based in Ivor, in Bradford, in Birmingham, and I will be in Glasgow in Edinburgh from the 8th to the 10th, or in Edinburgh on the 11th I'll be in Glasgow for just one day to see my patients. So anybody who needs to make an appointment, Glasgow and Edinburgh, care to call me on 07886 880591. पर Monday show ਹੁੰਦਾ है, Tuesday phone करो, पर Monday रात नू 11:30, 12:30, 1 बजे दा कोई वधिया time नहीं है, and certainly the phone will not be attended. So care to call me on that number, because these shows are running at a time that I hope that you guys have done your day's work, now relaxing and unwinding. Let me take you to this creative show of fibromyalgia now, and other things that we are going to be looking at. Essential fats is the biggest equation, and that's where I launched Pinya. And the story of Pinya of 9 formulas have grown. I now have also created Pinya for fibromyalgia, bringing in the essential fats in the fibromyalgia. So creative, so delicious, so nice. It's got 36 ingredients. So that will help with aches and pains, and the herbs and the essential tinctures are put in there, which are my own formulations. These are not Pinya, they are not desi, there's no wheat, there's no sugar, there is no cure, but these are the good fat Pinya which people should consume at least 2 a day. Some people have tried it and have loved it, but then they forget to order again because they find the mithai easier to pick up, to consume. I'm so grateful that my staff and young cameraman has really enjoyed my 70%, and we also got 100% cocoa chocolate. We'll talk to the ends, and he absolutely preferred it to any other chocolate he's ever tasted. This is my creation, and this is great for people to have in the interim of getting some cravings, with only sugarcane syrup of 10% sugarcane, OV organic. So let's go on to other things where we've talked about the Pinya. Lot of dizziness, and they have impaired coordination, things doing, they'll feel clumsy and out of focus. Possible causes are all by NAS scan, and it's great how NAS scan dictates and indicates to me. And then the specific infocuticals of NAS are given, which are all numbered and programmed in the minerals to change the frequency of the neurons, the axons, the muscle disturbance, the CFS, the bacteria, the fungus, the viruses. It is so good that people show and come back and say it's really helped them. And these are so freely can be taken through the day, relax mode, without any tension. This is the NAS infocuticals that are given after the scan, cannot be given with as a guessing game. It does not happen like that. Obviously, triggering events can precipitate to the onset of fibromyalgia, which could be a car accident, but before that it could be shock, a virus and bacterial we have discussed. A car accident can put them into shock, can trigger off so much tension in the muscle. The sudden jerk can put you in so much tension that it can years later or a few years later trigger off fibromyalgia symptoms. Rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, hypothyroidism, all these things can trigger off fibromyalgia. There are events that may awaken these underlying psychological abnormalities that already are in form of a genetic disposition, but they are not full-blown until an event happens in your life and you become a victim of it. So that could be something that can happen in the time. Moving on to obviously what I unravel through the NAS scan is looking at the brain pattern. I look at the neurotransmitters, I look at the serotonin, I look at the adrenaline factors which appear to be elevated, and really they are threefold in spinal fluid in fibromyalgia patients. The two hormones that are the cortisol and the growth hormone is what I look at a lot. The autonomic nervous system, which is not in a working order, is what I try to get it to refunction back by sending signals to the brain, to send signals to the rest of the body. But everything comes also in food. It comes into going organic and trying to के होर चीज़ां दे विच थोड़ी saving कर लो and go on to better, healthier foods. Food is medicine. Food can also be poison. This same food is what is making our community so sick. कई बीमारियां साडे बजुर्गां ने सुनिया ही नहीं सी जेड़े उन्हां दे बच्चियां नू पोतियां नू दोतियां नू great grandchildren नू हो रहियां ने. Something simple like खुरक दी बीमारी, eczema and psoriasis. Forefathers and great grandfathers and great fathers and grandfathers have never heard about these conditions until their children get it. Obviously, many allopathic drugs are given for fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome, ਜਿਹਨੂੰ CFS ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ, and they may have an impact on the neurotransmitters. Some patients, you know, as I have given them many years warning, but heeding to that warning is loss of time and is loss of your good health. So listen to your body, listen to what somebody is saying. The 6 obviously cases have full-blown symptoms. They did not change their lifestyle, which have come this year, and lack of essential fats, anger raging in siblings, anger within the family, 2 brothers fighting for properties in India. That has been a factor that's triggered off all these other symptoms of hatred and tension. Obviously, sleep is affected when there is so many war within the house, war within your body. Sleep body functions is the time where the tissue is going to be repaired in that interim. A lot of antibody is produced around the sleep time, which is in deep sleep. So sleeping at the right time with no light, with no blue light, with no TV on, with no telephone next to your pillow, which I call young boys as they're having their girlfriends under the pillow, is a serious problem. And then they show chronic fatigue. I mean, office fatigue is so much a problem these days that people are not resting well and then go to work and then they drag themselves and the next day they come and they slouch on a leather settee, and leather settees have formaldehyd gas made in China, Khaskar. And the leather of India is so grossly manufactured where the cows are starved, और ਜਦੋਂ ਗਾਈਆਂ ਚੀਕਦੀਆਂ ਪਾਣੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਅੱਖਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲਾਲ ਮਿਰਚਾਂ ਸੁੱਟੀਆਂ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ, and they are starved to the point they are left with only bones. And this was shown on BBC television about 6 years ago, that the leather production in India is done so ruthlessly that you would think twice of buying a leather settee. Yet a lot of women will say, oh, si chandi da work nahi lena, because it is done on a leather piece rolled out. Chandi de tusi leather di jutti paani a, leather de handbag designer le rahe ne, leather da settee ghar rakhya hoya, par chandi da work nahi lena. The ones that I also sell for medicinal properties as a very good metal. Obviously, as the neurotransmitters are not relaying from the brain, the sleep disorder in fibromyalgia will be a major contributing factor, and this is what is going to cause them to have serious problems through having a normal day. Medicine and sleep drugs, which are sleeping pills and antidepressants, is not the answer. It is something that you become dependent on. I have my own sleep mix. I have pain modulators. I have fibromyalgia remedies made through the Ayurveda filtrations we do. This is not cheap herbs with you know, asbestos lid, lead, aluminium, cadmium poisonings, which are made in India and a lot being sold in this country. Please be careful. GPs and doctors are constantly saying, do not use these herbs. They are shouting because their patients are coming back with cheap herbs. Bibi are trying to be wise. You spend out 20,000 rupees, 10,000, 8,000 on suits and shoes and mojje, but do not look at a good choice, and you rush out to look at more cheap Ayurveda things, not knowing where they are made, sources, keriyan. Everything of ours comes through analytic proofs, and it's only then we do the filtrations. So very important that natural sleep should occur, but if it doesn't, we make our own sleep mix. We also reduce the pain, we also increase the cortisol, and so many other remedies can be given to different patients for different symptoms. This is why naturopathy holds so much better chances of recovery in rheumatoid arthritis, in CFS, in fibromyalgia, because and every other disease, because everything is tailor made. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦਰਜੀ ਕੋਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ and you get a shirt or a dress or a suit measured. Your suit may not fit another person because they have a different width of shoulders, different bust line, different waistline, different arm length, different leg length. If pajami banani hai. The same way with naturopathy, and my remedies are tailor-made to the symptoms, to your psychosomatic symptoms, to your emotional problems, and to the reasons and causes of why you've got these things first before you became sick. That's how amazing this works, and that's how I look and understand the patient's psychosomatic symptoms. Start from the mind. So chemicals can help you to sleep, but don't become dependent on them. Pain obviously increase because cortisol levels are extremely dropped or extremely raised. Both ways can be huge problems. Patterns, these patients become dependent on these things. Aquapunching has shown great success in my treatments of fibromyalgia. Nutrition, diet, relaxation. I don't do osteopathy, but manipulation can be great. And then therapeutic massages, certainly. Steam cabins is something I really strongly suggest. Not sauna, can be very exhausting. By a patient sitting in a steam cabin, it's very good because that will help to shift the toxic waste in the muscle. But in the interim of them sitting, I give the specific body oils that they need to put and sit in the steam cabin to steam up. And that's when blocked pathways and fibrins which have not had the nutrition will suddenly soften up, help to relieve toxic waste, also with the green juices and the power juices that I give to create a normal balance. And then obviously relaxation. In the NEST program, we have stress, we have sleep, we have day drops, we have night drops, but cannot give without consultation. So don't ring and say, give me a day drop. You may not need it, or I need to decide what dose to give you. Once you have taken it the first time, ਅਸੀਂ understand ਕਰ ਲਿਆ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ symptoms ਕੀ ਆ, ਫਿਰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ order ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਆ. The day and the night drops are amazing for people who have not even had rested sleep in the night, and they sleep literally the same day. It's so amazing. ਇਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ES8 and chill, CHILL, something that your children must be saying, mom, chill out, mom, chill pill. So this is a very classic symptom where children will tell the parents to chill out because they're too stressed. Obviously, the program has to be very gentle and keep the body mobility through exercise is very important, and fitness, and important to walk. And it's easier said than done because the pain is so bad of fibromyalgia, and dard hunda hai, for them to even lift a limb is asking for them to achieve a huge goal. So it's easier said than done, but really time has, you've played with time, and this disease doesn't kick overnight. It takes many years before you get full-blown symptoms. Do you remember all the symptoms that I told you before could lead on to fibromyalgia as well, including irritable bowel syndrome, including diarrhea, including muscle fatigue. Yeah. 20 minutes of physical exercise a day, 3 times a week for fibromyalgia, I would strongly advise, but I'm not saying go to the gym and pick heavy load of ton weight, but graceful walking on the treadmill, trying to keep up your water intake, at least 2.5 liters of distilled or RO water, reversed osmosis. I'm not at all advising you to have tap water. Yet people will, on the other hand, will say it has got everything. It is your choice. I have made my researches and diagnoses over years, and it's over 3 decades that I myself am consuming and selling distilled water machines that can distill 3 liters, 11 liters, and 18 liters of water for bigger families. And you don't have to break your back to go and get bottled water from the stores, and we don't know how long this water has been sitting in the go-downs, which manifest with parasites and bacteria whilst it's sitting in plastic bottles. So pause to think. Obviously, heart rate should be increasing by 70% for them to feel good factor and have adrenaline, otherwise they'll still feel tired. The support obviously has to be through food as well. So let's go on to the foods that should be very advisable, and what I would look at may not apply to one patient, all the foods. The first one is low glycemic index diet is so important, and where the rush of sugar is not going out and the body does not have to make a crazy amount of the gallbladder does not have to make a crazy amount of bile or insulin. So low GI diet is very important, but there are so many that we would sit and I would tailor make your diet, which is emailed to you. Doctors may often disillusion a patient by saying it's all in the head. We must listen to the patient, but often it is not in the head, it's not in the mind. They put it down to depression, that the patient is depressed, depression di dawai de do te eda sar juga. It's sometimes a lot more deeper than depression. Obviously, some patients in fibromyalgia feel sick for a while, then they'll feel really great, and then they'll crash out. Others will feel sick all the time. So your thingies are not on, your plugs.
No, they don't need to be on. But it's just.
Where did you notice a dip? Where did you notice a dip?
All the way went down for a sec.
Okay, so I go back to what page? 8. At what point did you think it went?
2 seconds ago.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
So
You
I'll.
want to carry on from there?
Yeah.
Okay. It's on. Carry on.
Okay, so it's on, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. In the interim, I'll just lay out my. Okay, tell me the time so I know what I need to keep chewing on. Here I'll be racing into very shortly into all the 7 foods. How much time, dear?
You got 9 minutes.
Okay, also I'll go slow a bit.
Carry on.
Yeah, hang on. You've given me time to set up as well. So while other patients will feel very sick, some might feel good other days and active and crashed out on the other days. NEST scan obviously indicates the proteins and carbs, whether you can digest or not, and then specific remedies jade drops dite jande ne bade befikr hoke lao, and so many things start improving in terms of waiting ke ghar koi finances paisa aega. It is so sad about the starving the farmers from their tan, that they need to be paid for their produce, and every day I think 5 suicides minimum are taking place. But this was a question and a book I read 10 years ago written by Inderjeet Singh Jaiji about farmers' suicide and how much increase it is, but the government is failing to admit the figures till today. Is through media we are finding out what is really happening with the farmers. Organic wheat obviously is highly suggested, but also reduction of wheat, and very important that we wake up with having at least a good amount of water as a part of detoxifying, and looking at so many other better options. But when you come to me, each one is tailor-made to your conditions. Foods to avoid. Let's go on to foods to avoid. The first one, obviously, the most dangerous one is the aspartame, the Nutri-Sweet, which is added in many foods and drinks. Stevia sugar, however, is much better. I had the most amazing journey in Gurgaon to an Ayurveda farm, which is all organic, where he actually picked up a leaf and asked me to taste it, and it was like syrup. And that was a stevia leaf. It was so amazing. It is a better sugar, but not the same side effects as aspartame. Please look at that. That also includes keeping away from Splenda and other sugars which you think are better substitutes. MSG, monosodium glutamate, the most dangerous thing used now in foods, creating allergies, creating sensitivities, creating mood disorders, creating hyperactivity in children. It's endless amount of sensitivities to MSG, which is even used in crisps these days. So really we need to become more vigilant, and through my programs I hope I'm giving you a bit of education and enlightenment. Obviously fibromyalgia patients cannot tolerate the nitrates in the chemicals or MSG, so look out for those too. Sugar and simple carbs, go no sugar. Sugar taxation, thank God. Jadon vi si koi show karde hain, it appears that national television and morning shows de vich hafte baad, 3 dina baad, whatever topic we discuss, it seems to come up within that week. It's interesting. Yeast infection and chronic yeast infection, funguses which thrive with sugar. Fungus hoegi nahi je sugar nahi hoegi diet which. Fungus could be vaginal, could be tongue, could be skin fungus. All these things can lead on to serious problems. Cut out carbonated fizzy drinks, sodas. Carbonate causes metabolic reactions, which is the carbonated gases put in there. And obviously it's like pouring sugar into your blood, which is poison. Caffeine, tea, coffee, colas, chocolates which are in industry, yet I'm not saying dark chocolate, which is a better choice. This is a chocolate which is 100% cacao chocolate, which I brought in from the Caribbean islands. The best thing that you can have to chew on with the mixed nuts and seeds. It is most amazing, and that is the purest form of 100% dark chocolate. Caffeine obviously will give you a short burst, and so will sugar, but then you will crash out and not, you'll get a feel-good factor and then you'll crash out. Followed substantially longer sedative effects of coffee and tea, which will also lead on to fatigue if you want it at night as well. Yeast and gluten seriously need to look at. Overgrowth of yeast and funguses, tongue thrush, colon, stomach, vaginal thrush is all that we need to look on. Avoiding dairy and milk and going for more for almond milk. Nightshade plants, which all come as tomatoes, the chilies, the bell peppers, the potatoes, eggplant. Many tomatoes except plum tomatoes are okay. Obviously nutrition and nutrient and good life food is the power of healing. That is the power of healing in my diet. Obviously fats, good fats, organic fruits and vegetables, go organic. Beans, lean meats, poultry and fish. Sprouting lentils is so important, but Bibi are not listening. I have sold over 148 machines of sprouting lentils at home, which include red clover, broccoli, mustard seeds, alfalfa, which are so amazing. Good fat pinia, fibromyalgia da jada hegaya is an amazing one. Staying in charge, positive charge is very important. Time is an essence and it's priceless. Ek vari time khujh gaya thodi health da, it can never be got back, but use it wisely. And once you have lost time of that health, you now become a victim to NHS. Let's not load the NHS with this chronic fatigue syndrome and very degenerative fibromyalgia. May I, on this very note of this fine evening, warm evening, saying good night, and I hope you all have a fine, restful sleep with some positive thoughts in your mind and sleep with a carefree mind. Take care of yourself and each other. Saranu Sat Sri Akal. Goodbye and Kwaheri.